Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state, utilizing tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. So I want to disclose that this was the second, I'm kind of laughing because this was the second time I tried doing just my intro because I messed up. And I know that anytime I do that, it's like, okay, hold on, because this could be a really interesting reading. The other thing is I recorded a batch of readings while having the discharge petition stuff playing in the background. I had it on mute. And so I was watching, and the bill has just, the House bill, House passes bill to release Epstein Files, 427 to 1. The one representative was someone from Louisiana, not Grinder, Maggot, Moses, Mike, Tiny Johnson. He voted for the discharge as well and for the bill to pass. So that's kind of where we're at with that. It just happened. I've been waiting for that to happen because I wanted to do the reading right after that. So what I want to do is I want to know what's next. It still has to go to the Senate. The Senate still has to vote on it. The last I saw, Senator Thune has not seemed very interested in taking this up. So I want to know, is he going to be pressured into doing that, especially now that Trump has said, sure, I support that, release the files, which I'm going to be looking into that, like why the change of heart on that. And then, where do we go from here? That's kind of what I'm wanting to know. So, with all that being said, this is for entertainment purposes only. What happens next in this quest to release the files? Okay, so releasing the files. What do we need to know about releasing the files? Like, what happens next? Now that it's past this hurdle in the House, where does it go from here? I know where it goes from here. It physically goes over to the Senate. I want to know what the Senate plans on doing and all of that. So, Epstein Files, what's next? Okay, and with that, let me shuffle one more time. There we go. Okay, see what's on. There's all the lies. Fox is loose in the hen house and the damn circus. Okay, so with this, what happens next for the Epstein Files? King of Pentacles. Oh, the oligarchs, the people in that list. I keep, in one reading, I was like, oh, I think that the oligarchs and the Epstein list is probably going to be, if it's not a complete circle, it's going to be pretty darn close. Actually, as I was saying that, I was seeing the partial solar eclipse where the moon, it doesn't completely cover it, but almost. So that's what I was seeing as I was saying that. Okay, and the legal repercussions. Okay, well, all right, that's the start of that. So these are some pretty major, I'm feeling a lot of energy from these two cards. So the oligarchs, the evidence, and, the legal, what happens next? This card right here, the Queen of Pentacles, or Queen of Swords, I always see her akin to the Justice card in the Major Arcana. The Epstein Files comes out. I will get back to this because I have never gotten that it would come from our government. If it does come from our government, it's going to be scrubbed of Trump's name. So I'm curious about this question, or about this card. And if you notice here, it's like the sun comes out and is shining the light on what happened in those files. And also, the other thing that encompasses lovers is also agreements. Okay. So agreements, foundation, temperance, being patient. There's the sunrise there. It's been a long road. Oh, let me turn this around for you. Let me just look at this here for a second, because what I'm seeing is, let's see if I can hold this to where you guys can see it and I can see it too. So here's the long winding road to the sunset that's coming up over the mountains. here is the emotional, dipping our part into the emotional side of this. I'm sure that this passing is very emotional for the survivors, and then the physical. Okay. And this is a balance between emotional and physical. So this balance between two. And I'm almost seeing like, okay, it's past the House. Now we're going to be handing it off to the Senate. And it's been a long road for the truth to be coming out. That's kind of what I'm seeing with this entire card. The other thing that stands out, just to point out, is both of these have the angels in them. So, oh, which that could be Virginia Guffrey, however you say her name. I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways. So, what I got in one reading was that she was absolutely kind of looking over and watching this. So, I'm going to see that kind of as her influence in that. Okay. In the recent past, the rejoicing. And so the rejoicing that this has finally happened. So this is going to be, whenever you're doing tarot, sometimes the past could be like way long ago past. Technically, this is like recent past. And this recent past would literally be like 15 minutes ago. And so this is telling me like, yeah, we're really like, there's going to be a pressure campaign on the Senate for these files. And then our outcome card here is the betrayal. Let me see. What does this betrayal mean? Let me think about this. Because the betrayal could be taken several different ways. It was like the betrayal to the survivors of, the one that it took so long, what happened to them as children. It could also be like, we got this far with it, and now the betrayal in the Senate, they don't take it up. So that's kind of why I want to know more about the Senate. So yeah, let me do base reading into the Senate. I'm not forgetting this card. I just kind of want to know what the Senate's going to do, and then I may end up actually coming back to this card. So the Senate. What is the Senate going to do now that this has been handed off to them? Oops. And then the Senate... Okay, and, oh geez, let me do that one more. These cards don't shuffle quite as well as what I would like them to shuffle. They're not as thick as my other ones, but they're also not as crisp as like my Morgan Greer. So let me try that one more time. The Senate. There we go. Okay, now with the Senate, there's Mad King Don right there at the center. They're waiting to see what he says. They want to hear, they're waiting for their directives from Mad King Don. That's interesting. Okay. And Mad King Don is not all there. Okay. Cups is going to be emotions. And we know that Trump is lashing out. He's spiraling. Just think of all those lower energy emotions. That's where he is. He is retreating into his mind. He is not, Mad King Don. That's about the nicest thing we can say. And if you look here, what I'm noticing here is all of the, it's literally like a fountain. And so this can be all of the emotions he's got a lot of big feels right now. This also could be, I'm seeing this tied to, obviously his mental health, but also this could be that congestive heart failure, and the fluids buildup could also be part of this. So basically, this is not helping his health. What are we going to do? Balancing back and forth. How are we going to weather these the stormy waters here? Okay. Quickly. This is put to rest. I'm interested about that. And the evidence. We want the evidence. I think that, is the Senate, because I asked about the Senate, but this is more about like Trump's mental state. So Trump's mental state is, and maybe he sees like the party has betrayed him because they're voting on this, but he told them. And it could be that he didn't see any other way out. But quickly, something, and I've always got like, this comes with Trump, this comes to an end, making decisions about the whenever I first saw and heard that he had said for the Republicans to go ahead and vote to release them, the very first thought I had first was, what's he doing? And then it was like, wait a minute, why would he do that? And I sat with that for a moment, and what I got in that, moment of like meditating and really focusing on that was he knows he's dying. And, go ahead. If I'm not going to be here, why do I care? I don't have to protect these people anymore. That's kind of what I'm getting here, is like this emotional, like he's not diagnosing. Remember, entertainment purposes only. This is not, these two cards together in their lower energy is not going to be somebody who is making rash, sane decisions. That I will say. And like very quickly, we know, we hope, his time is coming to an end. At least his time, let me rephrase that. His time to be able to be like mentally competent, and I'm using that loosely right now because he's not mentally competent. Now he knows that he knows he's on his way out. Let's put it that way. He knows, I think that he's already been told like that fourth to last treatment it was like, this isn't really working. And then look at these last three. This was part of the that teaching health reading that I did. And if you look at this, it was like those last three treatments aren't going to work. Like one is kind of and then these other two swords, it's real haphazard. If you notice, these are all lined up real nice. And then by the fourth to last one, things are starting to get wonky here. So I think that he knows that he's not long for being. I get the feeling like in a moment of, okay, so people with dementia, they actually have moments of clarity. I think in one of those moments of clarity, he realized, and he's like, why am I protecting these people? I mean, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. So yeah, go ahead and release it. I don't care. And it's also kind of like that, not making sense, not making, rash decisions. That's just all that's coming up here. Okay. So what's the Senate going to do? I'm glad this is coming up as far as his mental health. And let me just look here real quick. Yeah, like weighing options, release the evidence. Like he's saying to do this. And I think it's because he knows he's not long for... it's almost like if that is actually why he did this, then he's been told, like, without these treatments, he's only can have, like, X amount of, like, these treatments have literally been keeping him going. And without those final ones, he's not... his exit may be hastened. So, Senate. Let's get back to Senate. Let's see what they're going to do. What is the Senate going to do now? Okay, and with the Senate, Wheel of Fortune... this is a movement card, things moving forward, and really like the irrational decision. I was just talking about Trump's, irrational brain. There you go. I mean, because I was kind of surprised, like, why is this card coming up and not this one? It's like, because that, this is what I would think would come up. So I really think that it's like, there's no more protection for the oligarchs. In the Morgan Greer, this is the one that's got the oligarchs on top, and the hand is turning the wheel. The Morgan Greer is like one of my favorite representations of the Wheel of Fortune. And so as that hand turns, these oligarchs are going to be flying off, and so Trump's not going to be there to protect them. Okay. Yeah. It's so weird that I've been reading this as, those oligarchs and what they did. And Robin Hood deck, where these pentacles are, you can see the children more prominent. And here with, the old men, and that the adults are more obvious that they're not even paying attention to what's going on here in the forefront. So, yeah, this is what the bad behavior that the oligarchs participated in. And... this is something that I was like, where am I in this reading? The foundation, something that was blocked in the past, and like really searching for that light. And I'm going to see this as those survivors finding, their star of hope. They had those dark night of the soul for themselves, and now finally seeing how, their star of hope has sustained them to this moment where the evidence is coming out, and that there's going to be, this also could be like swift action, swift legal action. Like when those files come out, this is like the sword of truth falls swiftly. And then the outcome, drunk on power. All these men that were drunk on power are going to be held to account. I don't know that Trump will ever be held to account other than in history books. But as far as like legally being held account, I doubt that happens. But all the others that are listed in there, very much so. So this it's still telling me like about the files coming out. It's not about the Senate. It's still not about the Senate. Because this is like things moving forward. This is the only thing that would tell me that it's the Senate. It's almost like things like they just come out. So let me ask again. I mean, wouldn't that be something in a demented fit? Don there, old, says, if I'm going down, you're all going down too. And just releases everything. Good God. That would be a surprise. I don't think that's what happens. But so the Senate. Let me just do 3 cards. What is the Senate going to do? Winning at all costs, looking at people just walking away, I think, and the messages, this, and then stuff coming out from overseas, the stormy clouds. You guys, I don't think the Senate votes on this. And this is why. It's not because they don't want to. I think that this stuff is coming out another way. Now, the Senate could vote on it, and because that's the process of the bill, but I'm seeing like this is coming out some other way. I mean, I've always got that it would come out some other way, not from that discharge petition and, the bill. I just have never seen that happening, but that the stuff does come out from other sources. And I'm wondering, like, this is an overseas, maybe like looking at overseas. Is it coming from overseas? Trump is not, I mean, he's like, whoo, out there, la la land, and not, and once again, this is going to be the message card, like message about how he's not here. He's not all there. I'm just looking at this going, let me pause this just for a second. Okay, I wanted to take just a moment with that. I literally have only taken about maybe literally a minute. Back, I don't even know when I did that. I don't know when I did this reading, but it was like I saw something happening, and then it was like they were talking about impeachment. However, there wasn't a need for impeachment because of blank. And I'm wondering if I maybe like misread that somehow. I mean, very good possibility because it's been a while. Of like they vote for the Epstein Files, but then they don't need to vote in the Senate because it comes out anyway. Like it's that kind of feeling. And I always get this feeling like things start and then something happens and it goes a different direction. And that's the feeling I'm getting with this is that, I mean, I'm getting the feeling like the Senate doesn't have to vote. Okay. I mean, I don't know. And I'm not feeling like it's not that they're not going to vote. And it's like, yeah, these oligarchs are going to be held to account. I mean, I truly wonder if this isn't going to be like some deathbed confession of Trump's. Let me ask that. That could be interesting. I know this is getting a little long, but this is just kind of a weird reading. So is this going to be like a deathbed confession of Trump? Like, has he really just completely lost it that much that's gonna, I mean, that would be the ultimate revenge. Talk about revenge and retribution. The people that got you into office, you're going to turn on them? Is this going to be a deathbed confession? Deathbed confessions with the Donald. And with that, the Hierophant, the spirit of our government, new ideas, new messages, the bully wand, and I don't read upside down cards, and that one came upside down. And so it just means that it's the lower end. Actually, that card's upside down too. How many of these cards are upside down? Just these two. Okay, I'll go ahead and read that since those two were upside down. So yeah, I think it's the bully wand, and about, like what happened with, the happy the adults and the children and the children, and about how this is literally going to turn MAGA upside down. Oh, that's what it is. Literally going to turn MAGA upside down when this comes out. And this, I always read this kind of as the spirit of our government. So yeah, this very well could be like deathbed confessions of past sins, and it's going to turn MAGA upside down. Alrighty, that is not, I don't know what I was, I mean, honestly, I was expecting, yes, this will go to the Senate, but, whatever, there's going to be a lot of pressure to put on, Senator Thune for this to be voted on, and I still expect that. I mean, there will be pressure on the Senate to now do this, because it just passed, everyone, 427 to 1 vote for it to pass in the House, and I did get that Eric Swalwell, he had reported he had like 100 Republicans ready to flip on Trump. And so, and I was like, yeah, he's got that. That 8 of Cups came up with that. And now some of them, they just don't want to be labeled a pedophile protector. But I think he really does have about 100 of them that would vote to impeach Trump. So that's all righty. And that was evidence today. So, yeah, I'm feeling like, Senator Thune, he sees the writing on the wall. He knows he needs to have that vote. He would, I see he's going to kind of be back and forth, I don't think we need to do this. But the pressure will be there. And he will, while trying to pressure him, he's going to play the part, do the show, not as well as little maggot Mike there, but he will put up a little bit of a fuss. And he knows that it will come to a vote with the Senate, but before that happens, I think something else happens. We could have deathbed confessions from Trump, because it's not looking good for him, mentally, physically, none of that. Let me just, I keep asking this and all these, I'm kind of using my Wiser Tarot because of it being so good on health. Let me just ask here real quick, how is Donald's health going to be affecting the release of the Epstein Files? Is Trump's health, what's going on with that, with these Epstein Files? Because I keep getting it. The stress of this is not helping him. Hey, buddy. Schrodinger was laying on there he goes. You just barely see him. He was laying on the other side of the computer. He's almost always near me whenever I'm doing readings. Okay, so Trump's health. You know how there for a while I was just every week I was doing the shutdown update. I think every reading I need to just do 3 cards. What do we need to know about Trump's health? What do we need to know about Trump's health now that this has happened in the House? And I'll just do 3 cards. As this relates to the Epstein Files, what do we need to know? Okay, and with his health, I think, you guys, there we go. There's that 3 of Wands looking out, his ship's coming in. I'm seeing this more like life review. He's on palliative care. I got that in a private reading. I was doing my own personal readings, I don't think I posted it. And what I got was he's now receiving palliative care. And yeah, this is the, and the palliative care is at odds with the medical care. So, I mean, the treatment, the treatment's not working. And so you got here. And then something else that my tarot mentor pointed out to me, her daughter is also a reader. And this right here, this bracelet, is a lock of hair. And in, that used to be like during Queen Victoria's time, they would take a lock of hair to remember a loved one by. And so, yeah, that is a, if you have other serious health, if you're asking about health and this card comes up, that's just one of those little symbology things that I wanted to point out. That, yeah, this could be, Melania there. And boy, is she not the Queen of Swords? Cold and calculating. Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, I think that he's on palliative care. He's not getting, those final treatments. And here, now I'm curious. I want to know who this Queen of Swords is. Okay. And the Queen of Swords, someone seeing... This is the victory card. Oh my gosh. So let me just Okay. I'm going to be really snarky whenever I do this. So yeah, let me just tell you this. He's getting palliative care. Okay, that's what that is. And here Melania is, she doesn't even care. Okay, she doesn't care. She's over here looking at her future that it does not involve him, Donald. So whenever I ask, like, who is this Queen of Swords? This is the victory card. This is Melania going, oh, ding dong, the witch is gone. You know, there she is thinking that this is victory. However, the parting gift that Donald gives is the files are released. As I said, I'm going to do the really snarky interpretation of these cards because I think we all need a really good laugh in the midst of all this just horrible stuff. But can you imagine, you know, she's in those files and in some degree, like, what did she know? And so because he knows everybody hates him so much, he could just really, you know, release all this stuff and be like, and, you know, may the chips fall where they may, you know, be damned to all of you, you know, type thing. Like, you think you're going to celebrate my death? Let me give you this parting gift. And now they're all like, oh shit, where are we going to flee to? Because there's like looking out into the world, where can we go across the waters there to be safe? As I said, really snarky interpretation there, but it does feel like, you know, whoever this is, and, you know, I mean, yeah, like wanting victory, like he's dead, he's gone, and oh, oopsies, now you got a whole bunch of legal stuff you got to deal with. It could also be, can you imagine all of his finances tied up and she doesn't get any money, and then, yeah, what am I going to do? Looking out into the future, like with all these legal issues. Yeah, that actually really could be what that is. Well, okay, now that we've had our good laugh with that, and I understand this, you guys, I understand how just absolutely horrendous all of this is. I truly do. In fact, I want to start putting out those disclaimers. When this stuff comes out, I've already told myself I am not going to be reading on the specifics of those files, and I think we all need to be prepared. I know that whenever, like, I say Epstein Files, and like I can read on like the idea, but then the details, it just is like black. And I purposely, and I think that's my way of like protecting myself from that. What we hear is going to be just horrendous enough. And so, yeah, be prepared to kind of be okay with walking away and turning the news off, you know, and just know that I will not go into depth. Now, I'll do the court cases, that I will do. But I'm not going to read on like the specifics, like, is this piece of evidence true? No, I am not doing that at all. Yeah, I'm already preparing myself for that. So you guys might want to kind of think about, oh, what am I going to do for self-care during this? Because it's going to be, we're going to have that plus everything going on with the government. Plus, you know, I mean, like it's a lot, okay? It is a lot. And that, you know, so, as I said, start making those preparations. I know I'm already kind of preparing myself for the release of those files. I don't think that they're going to come out from our government. I really don't. Unless Donald, in a fit of sundowners, you know, accidentally hits send, you know, to a reporter. I mean, oh my God, could you imagine, like in a signal chat, these things get released? Would it be surprising? No, it would not be surprising. So that, or, you know, Putin's got, you know, releases pictures. England's got it. I know that Israel has stuff. I mean, the files are everywhere. So when are they going to become public domain? I think we're coming up on it really quick. So that's what I'm getting today. Kind of didn't go quite the way I thought it was going to go, but yeah, that will be what it is today. And I will keep watching this, and I really appreciate you guys being here. So like, share, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a great day.